Hello, hello. We are so excited for you guys to be tuning in on Empower You Crown Up. Today we have a special guest, and that special guest is Miss Ronda Boyd. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We're so excited to have her on today. And today we're just going to be chatting. We're going to be talking about business, talking about Ronda's business, what she does, and just empowerment. We know as we are coming to the end of 2023, getting ready to go into 2024, that there is just so much. There's so much going on. People are dealing with grief. They're dealing with, depression, anxiety. The list goes on and on. And so that is why we brought Ronda on to continue out our mission of empowering our youth, empowering adults, because life is hard. It's hard out here in these streets. That's what we say. It's hard in these streets, and we're just trying to be better. And so today, as you guys are tuning in and listening to Empower You Crown Up podcast, it is our hope and our mission that you will get something valuable that you can use for yourself to just help you push through. Because we know some days are rough. Like, we don't all have someone that can just call and lean on us and say, hey, is everything good? Or you might be that person that everyone's always calling you for everything. And you're like, you know what? Who is going to look out for me? So this podcast is for you. It's about empowering you to keep going. Don't stop, but also stay focused and be in alignment with what you truly desire. So, as you guys know, if you're not already following Empower You Crown Up, go to Instagram, go to Facebook, any social media platform, follow Empower the letter U _, crown up. But without further ado, we're going to bring on Miss Dr. Ronda Boyd.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh, thank you so much, Brittany, for even inviting me to your podcast. I love the mission that you have of empowering people because, like you said, there is so much stuff going on in the world right now that everybody needs to be empowered because the world will try to tell you something completely different. Completely different. But so I'm
Yes.
happy to be in this space.
Yes, well, you're welcome. I'm just glad that you're able to get on. There's so many people that apply to come on, and we're like, hey, like, you got to be with the mission. We're empowering people because it's hard enough. Okay. And when you just turn on social media, it's hard. We see so much going on, and that allows you to get into a space of self-comparison where you're like, wait a minute, no, I am right where God has me to be. I need to stay focused on what I need to stay focused on. So, as we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself. We know that you are the CEO and founder of Flow. I love that name, Flow. Tell us all about it. And what does Flow even stand for?
Yes, Flow with Ronda Consulting was birthed several years ago, but Flow stands for fulfilling life on a whim. Sometimes we get so deep into doing things that it stops us from doing it. And it's like sometimes you just need to go for it. Live life on a whim. And so what I do is I actually teach financial literacy. My whole goal is to bring for families to leave a legacy. Now, in order for a family to leave a legacy, you got to be teaching each generation what to do. So I actually teach serial entrepreneurs and families how to pull together their finances. And really, it's called infinite banking. So I help them build their own bank is what I do. But it's more on the side of financial literacy and them understanding that we have to teach our kids what we're doing because a lot of us as adults, if you really think about it, the first time I heard about a loan or anything wasn't my first car because my parents bought my first car, but it was when I went off to college. And it's amazing to me how colleges will give a child $100,000 loan, but they can't even go out and buy a house.
Mm.
But they let them say, so we have to teach them at a very young age about money. So my whole goal is to empower families to have those right conversations around financial literacy in order for them to be able to start getting out of debt and building wealth. And the wealth don't just last for one generation. It goes for multiple generations
I
because we
love
want our
that.
kids to have options. And it's all about options. It's really not, I mean, it is about the money, but it's the money gives them options. And a lot of times our kids don't even have the option.
Yes, I love that. You're right. It's all about the option. But the problem with that is if you don't know where to start, if no one's ever taught you, like where do you even begin? So, I mean, I know we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes with all of this, but I'm curious, like, where does it start? Do you start with getting their mindset right, or do they have to come with you and already have their mindset right? Or how does that work?
Yeah. So it's starting with me. I can start where you're at because the thing about finances, everybody's at a different place. Everybody's is starting at a different place. And that's one reason why I want the kids to be, I want to start with the younger kids because we all start at a different place. So mindset is the first thing that I'm checking out. Like, where is your mind? Because if you really think about it, a lot of the things that we do as adults was put into us as kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of your financial decisions and the things that you do financially, it's almost just like health. People think that, heart disease and things like that is genetic. It's not genetic. You cook like your mama.
Hello.
So your baby is the food that you're eating is the reason why your health is the same as your mom's.
Mm.
But genetically, that's not how it works. It's like, but we just do the same thing our parents do. So in order to change that, we have to change our mindset.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, us as a people, and it might not just be us because I can't speak for everybody else also, but giving our kids allowance. I ain't paying them to stay here. That's exactly what most parents would say. I
Right.
am paying, but how are they supposed to learn money?
That's
How
right.
are you supposed to empower them to actually know about money, understand money, not have that emotional attachment to money, knowing that this is a way for you to get things you want, but it doesn't determine everything that you do.
Yes, I
But if
love
you don't, how do you teach somebody about money if they don't never have none? Somebody that don't have money don't need to be taught.
that. Hello. That's the blind leading the blind, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So I start off with really sitting back down and talking to them about, tell me some of the things that you heard as a young child from
Mm,
your parents. Tell me about like their spending. What
mm,
do you think about it?
mm.
And really digging deep into that childhood part of them of how they got where they're at now. A
Yes.
lot of it started then. Like
Mhm.
they have a job and they got to do whatever they wanted with their money, and they're still doing that as an adult.
Oh,
No,
goodness.
was there any structure? And then we do start with mindset and kind of changing that mindset around money, around so we can start having conversations. And a lot of people, the four-letter words, people talk about four-letter words, that four-letter word debt. Nobody wants to talk about it, but a lot of us
We can
got
talk about it. Right. Hello.
it. So how do you get out of a hole that the only way you feel like you can get out is probably to dig it deeper
Mm, yeah.
versus talking to the right people so they can help you get out of that hole.
But
And
you
you
know
can't
what?
talk
I'm glad
to,
you said that because not to cut you off, you made me think about how, a lot of times in the African American community, it's like, okay, what goes on in this house stays in this house. And so I think that kind of mentally is shame because you're like, I gotta tell somebody who I don't know about my finances. They got to get in real, like to see
yes,
everything.
yes. And it's the same way with mental health.
You're
Like,
right,
tell nobody what's going on in this house, and you could be in there struggling
but you better
and
not open your mouth.
have no idea how to get out.
Right.
And the people that can help you, the people you want, you're too scared to talk to. We
Mm,
gotta do better as parents
mhm.
to really stop telling our kids that what goes on in this house stays in this house. No, I need you to come talk to me. And then if we can't figure it out, now let's go
Yeah.
talk to somebody else about it.
Right.
So that comes with mental health and everything else. I mean, the suicide rate for our children right now are very high.
Uh-huh.
Part of that is because they are scared to tell their kids that they're stressed. So I run a nonprofit also, Passion to Pay project. So I actually deal with young kids on a regular basis. I do an after school and summer program.
Okay.
And I remember talking to them after Stitch committed suicide. Do you know who Stitch is? Yeah.
Oh yes, yes. Because I mean,
After,
people were so shocked because they were like, he just did a video like with his wife and look happy.
correct,
Those are the
with his
ones.
family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I asked my kids, I was like, so how many of you would go to your parents and tell them you were stressed? All of them looked at me like, I ain't saying that. And the first thing they gonna say is, what am I stressed about? And I'm like, okay,
Because
we gotta do
sometimes we can't even articulate. Even as adults, it's hard.
it is. It is.
And
And
for
if
our kids with social media, that's a whole nother level. Like,
right. And they don't know what to do or where to go. And so the same thing goes along with our finances. But a lot of times our kids are struggling because they don't even have anything to work with. Like
right. You're
you
right.
can't teach financial literacy to someone who's don't have any money. So as parents, I encourage you to give them an allowance. And it could be just as simple like I have a 14-year-old grandchild. That's $140 a month. Just add a zero to it. You get paid twice a week. Give them $70. But now
Mm.
sit down with them as a family and now let's budget, because 9 times out of 10, you might not be budgeting. So this will get you in the habit, because once you start teaching something, then you start doing it also. You might not know everything to do, but that's the great thing about Google. And,
Everything's on Google. And
and
I love how you said it because kids, they want something. Every time I look up, somebody wants something. And so
mhm,
that's a great way as a parent to say, hey, let's go. And do you have the money? Did you earn the money? Okay, how
yep.
much do you have left? Okay, maybe if you hadn't spent on this, then you could buy this. And just to get them in the mindset.
It'll be a conversation versus saying, "Oh no, we don't got it for that," because we're quick to tell our kids, "No, no, you can't have that."
And our words are so powerful. Like they are
Right,
so.
but it is very much so. Is yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah.
well, tell us as a child, because I know for some people their childhood was painful, but for some it might have been great. So can you tell us a little bit about your childhood and if you always dreamed of getting into the space of helping others with financial literacy, or what was that journey like for you?
So no, I didn't dream about doing financial literacy. But my mom did find recently where I think I did something in like third or fourth grade where I actually put down that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Which, because all I remember in school was I wanted to be a lawyer because I can talk, you know, I can argue somebody down. So that was my thing, was actually doing entrepreneurship
Mm,
and well, being a lawyer. So, but as far as the financial literacy, so to do what I do, you do have to be an insurance agent. And so my parents were insurance agents at one time in life. My parents did a lot of multi-level marketing. So I saw that entrepreneurship journey
mm.
in them. We didn't quite know what they were doing, but we knew they were doing
They weren't
something.
going to the job trading dollars for hours, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they were.
They were
So
doing
they did a
that
lot of
and
side
that.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you were like,
Yeah.
what's
So
this
I came from
side hustle about? Yeah.
right. So I came from a blue collar family. My father's a retired police officer. My mother worked for the electric company. So we had a pretty good we had a good life. I mean, I would say we had a good life. Finance wise, well, I wouldn't say that was, I mean, we what I saw and what I was taught might be two different things, because that was a long time ago. So if my parents are watching this, forgive me for what I remember. Okay. Forgive me for what I remember. But
But things were different back then,
it
you
was,
know.
but the conversation to me was, don't go get a credit card.
Right.
Don't, it was all of these don't versus, if you get a credit card, then make sure you pay off the balance. Or
Right.
only get a credit card for gas.
Right.
Well, oh,
To build their
yeah,
credit
it
up.
wasn't,
Yeah.
there was no talk about how to leverage credit cards. There was no talk about how to use a credit card for good. It was always don't do it.
Right. But then too, that goes back to our parents can only teach what they know. So they
That is
didn't
right. Right.
know.
Yep. So as
But
we
now
grow,
we know. So
yep,
that's why we
we
like
gotta
that's why you
teach.
have this business flow.
Correct. Yep, we have to teach better. So yeah, so childhood was great. Financially, I found myself getting into financial trouble as soon as I went off to college because guess what? They love sending you credit cards when
Yeah.
you're in college. So it had plenty of credit cards. And after I got married, we started doing better and getting better. And would I say it's always been that way? No, but I've been around people now that have been able to empower me
Mhm.
to do better. And
Yeah.
that's what it's all about, or being able to see people in different spaces where you understand that you can do something different.
Yes, I love that so much. And so one thing I took from what you just said is surrounding yourself with people who are going in the right direction, people who are okay with your finances. And that's why I tell people now you have friends for different things. So for your finances, okay, who's that friend or what's that circle I can surround myself with that's going to help me get to the next level financially? What is that friend group that's going to help me
Correct.
with my positivity, keep my mindset right? Because we have to be so careful to
Correct.
what we hear and what we see. So, yes.
Yep.
So that leads us to what is a favorite quote or scripture, something that propels you, empowers you daily, like to keep going, or just inspires you when you feel like, I don't feel like getting out of bed. I don't feel like doing nothing today. But you know what? I got to push through. And what is that kind of pushes you or helps you to say, you know what? I got this.
So I got a scripture and I got a quote, and I'm gonna start with the scripture. It's Genesis 12, and I think it's 1 through 6, when God is talking to Abraham about leave your family, and you are blessed to be a blessing. And your name is going to be great. And so I live by that, that I understand that I am blessed to be a blessing, because I'm a giver. I love to give. And even when I am not giving out of an abundance, I still like to give, because there was a time where I stopped giving because someone made a comment about me about, they probably wouldn't do it like a partner with me or something to that effect, because I probably give all the money away. And that kind of shut me down, like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Maybe I shouldn't be a giver. It's not even in my nature. I can't even take it away. Like, I felt so out of place and so shut down to not be a giver. I understand that I am blessed to be a blessing. I
Mm.
understand that my name is going to be great. So just that, leaving the family and going out and doing positivity in the world, and understanding that and blessings are not always money.
That's right.
Blessings is also encouraging somebody.
Yes, your
Somebody,
health.
a
Yes.
smile, right? Speaking to somebody. It's not always a handout. It's not always a giving. But I truly believe I get up out of bed to do that. And I definitely, with me working with kids, when COVID came through and I had to like shut down from the kids, because they shut down schools here. And I was like, I kept picking them up. My husband was like, if you don't stop picking them kids up, they don't know what this stuff is. And I'm like, okay, well, can I get the grandkids? They supposed to stay in their house. So it was like a couple of months. I was like, I'm going through. Like, kids are my energy source.
Yes.
So I was going through. So yes, so I know I am here to empower them to be whatever they want to be in life and know that they can get paid for it. And then my favorite quote is or a quote, wouldn't say it's my favorite, but one of the quotes that I do live by is debt is the slavery of the free.
Mm.
Um,
You gotta say that
me,
again. That is what?
yeah, that is the slavery of the free.
Mm.
We walking around here in bondage and in chains
I don't
because
even know it.
of debt and our mindset.
Right.
And mindset is a lot of it, because you can have some debt and you can be debt free and still be in bondage in your mind
Yeah. You're right.
of what you can and cannot do. And so we got to get to a point. I remember when I started on my journey, because I consider myself as an investor. Okay, I consider myself an investor, and so I remember getting when I started buying houses. I started buying and flipping houses right after I walked away from my corporate job, and I remember hearing God say, "No, you're going to have houses with no mortgage on them." Now,
Mm.
if you talk to a lot of real estate investors, a lot of them use the mortgage from one house to another house to another house, and I didn't see, I know I want 15 houses and 15 properties. I don't want 15 mortgages.
No,
I
never.
don't know. And then they'll tell you, but what about the taxes? I'm gonna pay taxes anyway.
That's right.
So why should I have 15 mortgages over my head? So the goal is to be debt free, besides what the government gonna still make me pay.
You're right.
Um,
That's right.
and yeah, so that's the reason why, debt is the slavery of the free. As much as free, I mean, we live in United States is a very free place. I'm not going to say other countries are not, but there are countries where you can't even worship and things like that freely. But we can do that freely, and for us to weigh ourselves down because of debt and the worry and the stress, and it's unhealthy. And some people just can't seem to find a way to get from under it. But there's really simple steps. And the first step is making a decision that I don't want to be under it. And
Yeah,
so that's one of the first things that I help people with is like, do you really want to be debt free? Because if you don't really want it and you're just saying it, you'll be right back in debt.
that's true.
You
You're
you
right.
won't be free. And so want people not to have that headache and that stress level of debt and not believing that they can be debt free, because I believe all of us can be debt free.
Yes, but it starts with your mindset and being ready. So I love everything that you said about empowering our youth, empowering our parents, just empowering the communities to this is something that can be utilized worldwide. So how can people stay in contact with you and what do you have to offer our audience today?
Oh, you can stay in contact with me. Please go to my website. It is www.flow, FLOW, with, so you'll have two W's, with WITH, flow with Rhonda without the H. There's no point of having a letter in there that you can't hear. RONDA. So flowwithrhonda.com. And you can actually, once you subscribe, you'll receive my free ebook. And the
What you
free ebook
talking
is
about
your four
next,
steps
good
to building
girl?
your four steps on building your own bank. So
Yeah,
you can use that bank to be debt free and not to get back in debt once you start building it.
I
So
love
yeah, so I get my book and contact me with me through my website also. Also, and my email address is info@flowwithrhonda.com.
love it. Info at flowwithrhonda.com. Love it. Well, we are so excited to have you on our show today, Empower You Crown Up. You dropped a lot of nuggets. And so we just hope that everyone will stay in contact with you and go download that free ebook on 4 ways to build your own bank. Because, honey, I wish I had known this years ago. But, my parents didn't know, and that's okay. But I want to make sure that I teach it to my children and they can teach it to their children. And the list just goes on and on to be able to really leave a legacy for my children. So thank you, Rhonda, Dr. Rhonda, for being a guest on our show. You are amazing. Do you have any final words that you want to say or leave with our audience today?
Don't be scared to start now. Contact me because I believe everybody can create their own bank. It's simple. It's through life insurance, so you actually get a policy, and I believe everybody needs to have some type of life insurance. Please don't leave your babies in debt, not being able to bury you, and them having to do a GoFundMe or anything like that. And financial literacy is the key. Now I do have a book coming out in January 2024 that I'm writing. It's called Investing Made Easy, a family affair. It's going to be a nice workbook and a book for you and your family to be able to work through this together and be able to do it together.
Oh, I love
Now I do, thank you.
not
And I do
alone.
have this, the whole entrepreneurship for any of our inspiring entrepreneurs that are out there. And then if you are like me that need balance, I do have a planner, Uniquely Balanced with Flow with Ronda, is calming the chaos that's in your life. You can actually go to my website. You'll see both of these. And if you would love to be in my next book, because I am taking pre-orders for Revamp Your Life, and that's another book that's coming out in January. I'm busy.
Yes.
Please go ahead and pre-order the book so I can please order the book so I can get you the information to you so you can be inside the book. Because I would love to get your input and be inside the book.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Yes, honey, you are busy 2024. You're already starting the year off right. Like this is your year. You already sliding in, stepping in. We love it. Love it. Okay, so one
Yeah.
more time, can you give everyone that website so they can go and stay in contact with you?
Yes, it is www.flowwithronda.com.
Love it, love it. Well, thank you. We look forward to having you on again as a featured guest. So we're just excited. Thank you so much, Dr. Ronda. We hope that you have an amazing day.
You too, you too. Thank you so much for having me on your show, Brittany. And
You're
great work.
Thank you.